Hey homies, what's up? Ryan Wynn here with another episode of Late Night Inks. Trying a little different setup here today. I'm going to start off chit-chatting like this, and then we'll move over to the other station here, my art station that we've got. I have my camera set up there, and it was blasting my audio. Had to fix that. So how are you guys all doing today? Tonight, late night, NITE. We have Douglas Leftridge. What is up? Don't know if he is still here or if he has Leftridge the building. Let me know if my audio is coming through loud and clear for you guys as well. We have Hyper Potato. What is up? Like and subscribe, kids. Yes, thank you very much. Story time with my friend and your friend, Yang Yan Dao. Ty Ranger, what is up? Ty Ranger, good to see you, buddy. Eric Housel, happy hump day to you too. And James, the Shogun Ronin artist, what is up, brother? So we're going to let some people gather in, maybe run the intro. I'm going to tweet out that we are live. From down under, we've got our homie Colin he takes my breath away. I couldn't even talk. Colin Swinburne, number one and only. Hey, we got Ben Soto showing up, sounding good. All right, nice to hear. Ben is the new assistant on Hammerella. He's my color assistant. So if you didn't know that, I've got some help on the book now. Homie needs to drink some water. Colin took my breath away. What are we inking tonight? Asked Yang Yan Zhao. Yes, we are going to be inking a little bit of the... we're going to be doing some warm-ups, just kind of doing the warm-up page, and then we're going to be hitting up our Vietnam vet playing guitar. We might also flip through a book called Jazz Maynard, which is a European book that I've been a fan for a while, but recently the inks in there have been inspiring me. Hey, Douglas is hanging in for a bit. This old man managed to stay up tonight. Yeah, I think Douglas is East Coast or Central, so he's a few hours ahead. And we tweet out that we are live now. Thank you guys for hanging out. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to go live or even do Late Night Inks this week. As I've mentioned in other videos and on the comic ship, we have had no AC, which I know that's a first world complaint. But it's hard to do anything like StreamYard or any live stuff because I have to have the windows open to keep cool and usually have tons of fans going and stuff like that during the day. And then when my wife's home at night, she hates the heat even more than I do. And, you know, you want to make your wife happy. So I don't shut off the fans. But tonight it was cool enough to make it happen. All right, Colin's at work. He's in the truck heading home and thinking what premix he is going to buy. All right, good for you. Let's see. All right, I'm going to run the intro really quick while I switch headphones and stuff like that. So bear with me. I tweeted out that we are live. Maybe we'll get some other homies here hanging out. And I'll see you guys in just a minute.
Give us any chance, we'll take it. Read us any rules, we'll break it. We're gonna make our dreams come true. Doing it our way. Nothing's gonna hold us back now. Straight ahead and on the track now. Gonna make our dreams come true. Doing it our way.
All right, I've switched over to the desk cam. We are at the desk cam now. And let's see. We don't need everyone's... Douglas, I love you, buddy, but you don't need to have your comment highlighted the whole time. All right, so going over some of the stuff you have seen me ink, or some of the stuff that is part of what I'm inking. So I'm working on a commission for the guy that commissioned this, a good friend of mine, Cap M, over on Twitter. One of my patrons, I guess, if you will. So we had inked this Doughboy, this GI Doe, and you'll see similar inking styles in these folds in the book we're going to be taking a look at in a sec. So whenever I'm working on a project, I kind of look at the recent things that I've inked. And it has been so humid here, these pages are heavy with moisture. Here is a zombie by El Padrino over on Twitter. We're working on a book with him with the Death Curse team, and I'm inking the cover. And there's videos for this that will be up on the Death Curse channel and the Ink Like a Man series. And let's see, here's the last physical Hammerella page I inked, in case any of you guys missed it. There's the 4 Blue Astra spaceships with Hammerella. And they have blasted off from down there. And here we get them zorping. I know you guys like a good zorp and a whoosh. And off they go. It's a close-up of the girl herself. And then off into the distance. So then, oh, whoops, I put the piece we're inking away. So then the current piece, a couple weeks ago I started this, and we still have a bit to go. Hey, El Padrino, we just mentioned you and showed off your piece, buddy. Not the whole thing, just the piece I had inked, or the little bit I had shown already. There's a whole lot of awesome under there, but you guys don't get to see that yet. You guys don't get to see that quite yet. But this is the piece at hand. We're going to be going in and doing some of the foliage and the plants and stuff like that. A couple weeks ago, you got to watch me ink all this stuff. So if you want to go back after this video, after we hang out for a bit, feel free to do that. Benjamin Soda says, I had no idea you hand inked the sound effects. They are so crisp. I thought they were digitally added. Yeah, I like to do them all by hand, whether I am inking it traditionally or inking it digitally. I do like to incorporate the hand-drawn sound effects. El Padrino says, dude, looking awesome. Love that piece with the guy playing guitar too. Thank you so much. Everyone's saying hi to each other. All right, I am on the phone camera now, so it's a little more difficult to scroll, and it jumps quicker. So if I miss a question, don't take it personally. I'm trying to see everything here. Ty says he can't do much when it's hot. He gets lightheaded and nauseous at like 80 degrees. Yeah, it's been around 82 to 86 in the house, especially anywhere where I got to sit and ink. And having the windows open, it's crazy how humidity can affect the boards. I really think that stuff like that, like weather and conditions, is some of the stuff that people across the country and the world, like that's the thing that like they've tried inking and they think they're bad at it or they hate it, and like it might just be the fact that wherever you are, it's super humid at the moment. Rex Doom, Rex Doom, what's up, buddy? Colin says, I have a tricky black and white question. How would you differentiate Iceman, Power Active, and the Silver Surfer in black and white? Well, they're different sort of qualities. Let's see. Oh, sorry about that. Hit the camera here. You guys see I like to do these very detailed descriptions. This was a story I think I told about my dad and his no standing sign at the ball game a few episodes ago. So you're dealing with different qualities in black and white. So let's see, how can I do this so we're not doing anything phallic or suggestive, because I know how quick you guys will pick up on that. This will become a demonetized. Oh, speaking of demonetized jokes, we are monetized. I screwed up something with the AdSense account, so we don't have that yet, but we got the 1,000 subscribers and we're monetized now, which is crazy. Okay, so let's see this out of the way. Let's do your Silver Surfer. There he is. And let's do our Iceman. We're gonna even give him the same shape head, I guess. We'll see what we can figure out that's different about them. Similar shape head. So Iceman, you're going to see, you're going to hit things like the edges where his face has edges. like where the forehead goes around from the front to the side. The skull has that ridge. The cheek and the jaw lines you're going to hit. And he's not as reflective. That's the thing, because it's ice. It's not reflecting everything around it. So you could literally get away with like a few lines that just describe the planes of his head, stuff like that. And if you really want like, oh, this side has some shading, you could do some of those thin to thick Marvel style, like gradients like that on the side. So there's like a shadow on that side, but he's not really reflecting, where the Silver Surfer is. Those same kind of ridges and planes are going to be like really reflective of whatever's around him, and it's going to break up into pieces, and it's going to be more fluid. I feel like this didn't really help. I feel like this was just actually kind of fun to do and kind of stupid. But yeah, because one is ice, and it's I guess you call it transparent, translucent. You call ice translucent. Mandible Smasher says, no AC at work for 2 weeks. Decided to use up some vacation time this week. Staycation. Stay cool, buddy. Let's see. Let me catch up. GJ Martinez is in the house. Late Night Inks. I'm up. Yo, you got this. What's up, buddy? Ty Ranger, congrats on the monetization. Thank you, sir. Hey, Ross Wolf is here. What is up, buddy? Just do original Iceman where he looked more like a snowman. That's the way to go. The pile of cocaine Iceman. Let's see. All right, so I wanted to show off a little Jazz Maynard here before we get started. But Ty Ranger says, I'm in the sound effects weeds. I think at my level, it's better to do them digitally because how often I mess them up. Yeah, that's always an option. Ross Wolf says, all I heard was, if I don't catch your question, take it personally. That's how we roll around here. All right, so if you guys are not, oh, hey, hail Black Rose Comics. What is up, B-Rose? If you need some bros in your life, go subscribe to Black Rose Comics. All right, so last year or so, Role and Rohair have been big on my list with the Jazz Maynard series. This one is printed in, it's the English translation. I think it's published by Lion Forge. And Roger Style, Rohair, however you want to say it. It's sort of like Neil Adams, and it's in the same vein as Neil Adams and Alan Davis. You will see that. The earlier volumes of this, not so much. But let's see. Oops, sorry about that. I'm gonna readjust the camera here for this real quick. So we can turn pages. All right, even just that, look at that black and white work there. Look at the way these little figures pop out of the shadows. Oh, here, real quick, the story. Jazz, trumpeter by night, gentleman thief by later that same night. Jazz Maynard is a mystery even to his friends and family who think they know him well. So there's the short of it. It will explain some of the imagery you're gonna see. So let me get to some of the cool inking and shapes of things that I like, the brush strokes and stuff like that. Colored darkly here, but man, just the way the folds look on the sleeves and everything. And being that this is a European comic, man, I'm not set up to show this off very well. Being that this is a European comic, it's a bigger format, wider, and it was originally published larger, so you get like more space for imagery. You get more panels per page. Your dialogue takes up less space. Yeah, his work is fantastic, and it's that, like I said, it's that kind of work that I don't necessarily want to draw like him or ink like them exactly, but their work inspires me to get to work. It looks fun. It makes inking and drawing look fun. Trying to find something that's not so dark to show. There's a cool face. Even the flames in the background of that face. See the simple, big black brush shapes. And yeah, the color choices are and transitions are fantastic. Whoa, whoa, hey, some naked prison fight scene. We don't need to get into that. Oh, there's some cool faces here. I really like when he does these profiles like this. Very cinematic. Looks like something from like a Quentin Tarantino movie. He's very direct with his camera movements, always making figures that are supposed to be imposing appear more imposing by where he puts the camera. So notice we're always kind of below this guy. We come up here kind of eye level to meet his gaze, and then back down to her point of view, sort of, or his point of view. This is the young Jazz Maynard. Look at that action shot. Wham, bam, and again, camera drops down. So yeah, I highly recommend checking these out. The first book is excellent. It's absolutely excellent. But book two is where it just takes off. The art and the story both kind of just really excel. They've either found their groove or got enough experience on the first book. But yeah, it's amazing stuff. So I'm gonna put that aside now. We're gonna get to warming up here. Yes, Unhinged Entertainment. This is live. What is up, buddy? We got Charles Petrie in the house. Uh, so are we all winners because this is Ryan Wynn's stream? Yes, sir. Hey, no problem on the winner spelling there. So let's see. Where is Stinger? Here she is. Stinger is my Raphael 8404 size 2 brush. And we are going to be using her with the Rapidograph Ultra Draw Black India ink. I do have some other inks. I did finally get oh gosh, what's it called? It's some like noir black ink from Stuart Semple. It's supposed to be one of the blackest inks, so I'm going to be trying that out soon. But I've got some Eon ink on the way and a couple other inks that I'm going to be doing a taste test, if you will. All right, so water on the brush, water off the brush on a little bit of a paper towel, then dipping the brush halfway to 2/3. We don't want to get it too far up into the ferrule. You don't want to get a mess up in there. It will mess with your brush and the effectiveness of your brush. So we are going to start with little lines, just warming up, just little wrist shots here, thin to thick to thin. There we go. And I can definitely feel the moisture in the paper from the humidity here. I've done this stuff enough times that I can feel there's a little bit of extra drag. The ink in the water and the brush meets with the moisture in the paper, and it kind of slows it down. It drags it because of the way moisture attracts itself. So normally the paper is very dry. The paper is drier than the brush. So the motion of you dragging the brush across the paper, absorption is used to pull that, and gravity, but it's absorption as well, because you can ink upside down for a little bit. Obviously your brush will dry out quicker because ink's flowing the opposite way, but there's that. Science time on Late Night Inks. Woo! Unhinged Entertainment says, I like a moist. And Yeah, so that's why, like, whenever I used to travel to Florida or the East Coast for cons or just traveling, man, I always felt for my friends that were artists that were working in the extremely humid conditions. And I could also tell when I worked with pencilers, if they lived in extremely humid conditions. It was also funny, you could always tell which artists were smokers too, because you open the FedEx box. I'm talking back when we used to FedEx pages back and forth to each other, and there'd be a nice drag of a Marlboro Red inside the box for you. So all whining aside, Stinger is flowing very nicely. This ink has been slightly aged, which just means I put it in an ink jar and then I keep the cap loose for a few days. And that relieves the ink of some of its moisture, making it a little heavier in pigment. So yeah, these are coming out nice. Look at that. That's why we call her Stinger. Hey, Simon 7 is in the house. Peter Engstrom is here too. What is up? Oh, how are you guys doing? Everybody staying cool? Everybody staying real? All right, we're gonna get to the board here pretty soon, but or the actual commission pretty soon. But I'm still gonna warm up here a little. We're gonna be doing some foliage, so I want to see how heavy these brush strokes can get. Just do some leaves. That's funny. You can do those at like, oh, there's leaves hanging down, or you turn it sideways and it starts to become water, like little waves in the water. So it's just it's funny how stuff like that works. Like once you start to learn to draw certain things, either with the pencil or the brush, you start to realize how it helps you draw other things with the pencil or the brush. And that was one of the things that Danny Mickey was good about teaching me when I was inking with him. Because you started out as an assistant, so you would be doing things like grass and rocks in the background, and say there was a rock penciled here like this with some grass penciled there. The process would be, ink the rock. Hold on, I'm getting movement, getting wiggles on the camera that I don't like. Hold on one sec. Bear with me here. I don't like a wiggle. I noticed last time it was wiggly and it shouldn't be. My lamp's hitting. There we go. That's better. All right. So you would ink the rock. You go through and you'd have your process for how you inked the rock. The rock has these, straighter edges, harsher edges, and then the grass has these wispy lines, and you're doing lots of that in the background when you're a background assistant and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden one day he gives you the page where the guy, one of the characters, the bad guy, has shoulder armor that's kind of beat up and it's shaped like this. And you go to ink the shoulder armor and you're like, oh dude, it's the same brush strokes as the rocks I was inking. Very cool. And then this guy's like some badass biker guy and he has long hair blown in the wind. And then you realize, oh, these are just like those grass brush strokes I was doing for so long. So he totally did the wax on, wax off. The background training set you up to go into the foreground and main pieces of the pages and stuff like that. So it was all practice and all training. So let's see. I think I'm ready to hit the piece. We'll go about another half hour or so. I am going to use a cover sheet here though, because it is still hot here and I am smudging this piece like crazy. So armored shoulder pads, Yeah, actually I'm thinking back to a specific piece when I was inking Trent Kanuga on Ghost Rider, or I should say Danny Mickey was inking Trent Kanuga on Ghost Rider, and I was his assistant. Right. That was 20 years ago. Okay, we've let's see, got our camera set up. We're going to be doing this big chunk of leaves up here, so it's going to just be black leaves in the shadows and story time for right now. Grab some water for the brush and water for me. All right, anybody new to the channel or new to me, I have been I was an inker and illustrator in mainstream comics for a portion of the last 20 years. The last handful of years, I've been mainly focused on creator-owned comics and indie stuff, which I always did on the side, but now it's got to the point in my life where that's all I wanted to be doing. And now I do a book. I write and color a book called Gods and Gears. And I'm also writing, coloring, drawing, lettering. I'm doing everything on a book called HAMMERELLA, which is a super cosmic-styled superhero action adventure comic, much like something from Marvel between the 60s and the 80s. It's tied to the Gods and Gears universe, and it is currently in demand. We're in the last 20 pages, which we've been there kind of dancing around that the last month or so as we reformulate the ending, because we doubled the book in size. But if you'd like to check it out and see more of the art from that, there is a link down below. We have 398 backers right now. We're just over 16,000. And I just recently got myself the large iPad. It was becoming too much to try to do everything on the 9.5-inch iPad. I'm doing double page spreads with multiple mechs and 5 naval pilots, plus Hammerella and all her stuff. So it was just really just becoming so difficult. It's one thing to just ink the pages on a small piece and make it work, figure it out, but to do most of the penciling and then the inking on it, it was really driving me crazy. So we saved up some of the funds, and I was able to get the Wi-Fi one, the Wi-Fi iPad. So super stoked on that. It really is a game changer, the same way just getting the iPad originally 4 years ago or so was a game changer. Never thought I would do digital inks, but that's just because for years and years the digital inks, they just sucked. The brushes were no good, the programs were no good. I mean, people were still using them, even at like DC and stuff, but not this guy. It's too good for that. Progress there. Let's see what you guys are saying. Remember that dude from the Dungeons and Dragons 80s cartoon? Which guy? Thank you, Ty Ranger, for dropping the Hammerella link. Yeah, I see Elizabar's name, but I don't see Elizabar. Hey, Arcia Rosagar. Whoa. Yeah, Arcia colored it with colored the Ghost Rider book I was talking about. Yeah, sorry, Arcia. I would have mentioned it if I had seen you there. Peter singing the Hammerella song, as one should. GJ Martinez offering up. If you like, you can follow him on Twitter, and you can see all of the commissions he has, and whenever he receives Christian's piece. Let's see. Elizabar says, this looks pre-recorded. It's like watching Rob Geronimo. I demand a refund. Got me. Let's see. Charles says he had a hammer when they were in the prison. Man, I haven't seen that show since, I don't know what it since it was on. So yeah, I don't remember any of the episodes specifically. I loved the show. I would say it's definitely part of the inspiration for stuff like Gods and Gears, but it's just part of it, not directly. Because man, I watched that show as much as I could, and I taped a bunch of episodes when I was a kid too. So it was funny after Gods and Gears came out. I rewatched some clips on YouTube, and I was like, oh, I think I was a little more inspired by this than I remember. All right, we'll be catching up on comments. I'm thinking here for a minute. And as you can see with these shapes, if you're watching for the actual inking, my elbow's pretty much locked on the table. I'm doing a lot of this with just my wrist and my hand. And I'm switching from pushing the brush away from me to pulling it towards me like this. Um, most that's usually so I can change the shape of the brush or the line I'm trying to create. Also, right now I'm trying not to spin the board as much. I like to really just spin the board around and only pull my lines in one direction, kind of like brush this way and just keep turning the board. But I don't want to keep spinning it on camera. It shakes the table and it makes that whoosh whoosh sound, which I've talked about before when um, it was I had been married for a couple of years, but I usually inked in a separate room, and we finally moved to a place, and I put my studio into the dining room because we didn't really like having a dining room anyways. So I put my stuff there. My wife was staying up one Friday night while I had some deadline work I was working on, and she was trying to fall asleep, and I kept spinning the board like that, and then the clink 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 of the brush and stuff like that, and then even the sound of the nib, because when you use the nib, the dip pen, it cuts the paper. It works differently than the brush, so it's cutting the paper, so it's like and finally she was like, okay, I can't hang with this. I gotta go go crash in the bedroom and shut the door. The brush is nice and quiet. It's one of the things I like about the brush. And the brush is weird too because you can't really feel the brush. It's all about uh, kind of muscle memory and just watching it. So I know it's just black shapes, but it's all gonna come together. It's all gonna come together as leaves and shadows and stuff like that when we're done. I see you guys got the chatting about the D&D show. What's all the fart sounds? Simmons says so you can watch the semi-official series end of D&D on YouTube now. Oh, okay. Oh, and the sound of my breathing. She's really annoyed by that. I see now. D. Hausner says, "Hail Ryan in the chat. Hail D, what's up, buddy?" D. Hausner is doing he's got his own book that he is creating, and he and his friends stream and talk about that. The Kid Nebula is what it's called, I believe. If you follow him over on Instagram. Peter Ingstrom says, what did he say? Just scrolled away. I bought the D&D cartoon on DVD years ago, but I broke it out for my little guy, and he loves it. Who's the better wrench, you or El Padrino? Oh, there's no wrench wars here. No wrench wars here. You can watch the whole series on YouTube, and it holds up. Yeah, I'll check it out. Yeah, we'll definitely check it out. Yeah, because yeah, even though Gods and Gears inspired by a lot of that stuff, I didn't go back and rewatch a lot when I was creating it. I kind of wanted to have my inspirations lead the chart. My memory and my inspirations kind of lead the creation, and see what came out of it. So it's been probably at least 10 years since I watched like a He-Man episode or a Thundercats episode. I've watched scenes and things for animation, like on YouTube, but didn't actually. Whoa, what was that? Didn't actually sit and watch any episodes. My brush is just really flowing nicely today. So another thing you'll see the way I move sometimes it's slow and then quick. It's slow into the line or the shape and then kind of quick out once I'm comfortable with it. So when you're practicing with your brushes and stuff, and even your pens, whatever you're practicing with, keep stuff like that in mind. Like try making lines in different ways, try making shapes in different ways, move your hand at different speeds, hold the stylus or the pen in different positions. Especially if you're self-taught, all you've got is your own experiments to do. So get to it. You got no excuses. Man, especially these days, nobody has any excuses for not learning how to do something unless it's completely out of your intelligence range, which is fair. I'm pretty dumb, so I don't give people too much crap for learning smart stuff. But if you're a dummy and you're an artist like me, um, man, there's almost every resource is out there now. But 20 years ago, it was so much more difficult for me and my peers. Meanwhile, 20 years before that, it was even more difficult for that generation and their peers. All right, so I did spin the board, but that was mostly because I just want to keep away from any of the wet ink there. So I think next week on Late Night Inks, I'd like to look over original art from the Gods and Gears Zero issue that was printed and it came out on a Wednesday. I have them all the pages, 12 pages in a portfolio here. I penciled them over I inked them over Dean Cott's pencils. And I think that would be a fun way to start talking about Gods and Gears again because, oh boy, Gods and Gears issue 1 second prints are out and available now at alternaaccess.com. We have been out for most of the last year, which was, good and bad. Good in that, like, it's awesome to be sold out, and we didn't see that coming as quickly as it did. The pandemic and some of the stores that decided they wanted to believe stupid nonsense and, get be against us alternate creators, turn against us alternate creators, thought that was going to be bad, and lo and behold, the fans came through. Readers online that were stuck at home that were looking for great comics came through, and we ended up selling out like 6 months before we had projected to sell out, which was just incredible. And then Peter had an amazing campaign for Alterna. Had no idea he was going to get the numbers he did for that. And we've been waiting for that to be fulfilled first because that campaign made the reprints possible. Woo, go backers. And thank you guys for making that possible. But now they're out. Now we can sell them. I can sell sketch covers, all that stuff. So I'm going to be updating the shop. Those of you that are getting the issues through the Hammerella campaign, Those will at least be signed. I know you're going to be waiting on those for the campaign and stuff. Where the issues are available at alternativeaccess.com. If you wanted unsigned ones while you wait, they are $1.99 for the issue 1, and 2, 3, and 4 are $1.50 right now. And I think second issue is getting close to needing a reprint, so don't sleep on that. We'll be checking comments in a minute. I'm getting some really good brush flow here, so I'm gonna hit this up while I can, or while she's flowing like this. Yeah, so last week it was just way too hot to shut the windows down and do any late night inks videos, so I was bummed about that, but stoked that so many of you joined tonight. Super cool. And all of this will be black, so we'll just leave that for the big brush later. Can I be an Allen key for you, Brian? Like an Allen wrench? Like the all-in-one IKEA tool? Peter Engstrom says he hopes the new Alterna printer works out. Yeah, you and me both, buddy. GJ Martinez says Elysium is out of stock still. He was able to get, or number 6, he was able to get 1 through 5. Ross Wolf says, okay, both wrenches are terrible. Down with the wrenches. Que viva la revolucion. Simon says 7 says, I'm sorry, Ty and Padrino, but when she is online, Belle is the best wrench ever. She drops links like magic on the chats. Or just in general, talking about wrenches, you got Frog G, I see on a lot of streams, stuff like that. But no, I ain't bugging anybody too much tonight. Ain't no wrench wars going on here. All right, have any of you non-artists tried inking or think you'd be down for trying a late night inks ink along sometime when I do just the headshots? Because I want to get more artists inking, but I really want to get more non-artists trying it out. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of vine work now, because the vines are gonna be mostly in shadow and silhouette, and they're gonna be coming out of these black leaves, and I kind of want to ink those right now. It's gonna be some fun shapes. And I feel an ant crawling on my leg. Yeah, it's driving me crazy. The ants, with the heat, they have been trying to come in and steal my water. Maybe a little dry brush at the end there by the edge of the page. So some vine action. I do apologize for the somewhat boring subject matter. Hey, watch me ink black leaf shapes and a couple vine shapes. So I try to make up with it with my sultry voice and my saucy stories. That's not really happening either, but you know. But I actually, I really enjoy just inking with the brush. If I've got a bunch of repeated shapes and fun stuff to ink like this, like I could just do this stuff all night. It doesn't matter. I wish I was better at jungle stuff. Issue 1 of Gods and Gears is mostly jungle and forest, and Thank goodness Dean is so good at that stuff. But as an artist, I do like to challenge myself to do things that I'm not good at. That's one of the things I'm doing with Hammerella. I did it with my book Death Betty, and I'm doing it with Hammerella. I'm not naturally good at drawing female characters and figures. It's something I really struggle with. So I wanted to do a female lead. I haven't really done anything cosmic, and I've never done anything with giant robots, or other than when I was a kid. Um, and when I was young, doing stuff like that, and then occasionally inking some giant robots or something like that, but not drawing them in my career. So I wanted to incorporate all kinds of stuff that would be challenging to me, that would force me to study and learn and step up. Um, because my sort of method for that is when I learn something new, it's got to look like I've been doing it for years. It's got to look like I've been good at that thing, that task for years. Let's turn this around, take a look. Let's see, nice and simple. The silhouettes mostly be silhouette, and that way it'll just frame our boy here as he's playing guitar. It's hard to ink the gun live, but I think I'm going to make a video of inking the gun with the ruler so you can see how I do that. But it's hard for me to ink it properly with the camera where I like it to be. So none of that. And you can see my scrap paper is notes for the comic ship. If you guys have not seen my show or our show, The Comic Ship, Mondays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. On this here channel, we do a sort of music and comics. It's not quite a variety show, but it kind of has that feel. We talk indie comics and music, and sometimes we have guests on. We do segments about animation and animation history, and also showcase indie bands. We play music videos at the start of each episode. Sometimes we do dumb little sketches. We do get permission from all the bands that we play. So we're not just sniping YouTube channels. So I recommend that. Check that out. This week we will have Lucifer Storm on, and he will be talking about his book with our friend Christian Rossi called Ed Gein Demon Hunter. This last Monday we had Nandor Fox on, and I think we had a pretty funny intro this week. We played a People Mover video. It's the second time we've played one of their songs. I chose a different song this time. Those guys are one of my favorite bands, and they were extremely gracious and cool about letting us use their videos. Let's see. Got distracted by the word vegetarian in the chat. I was like, who's a vegetarian? No, I'm just kidding. I tried being a vegetarian once or twice or 6 times, maybe 6 times. Mostly in high school. Half the time was because a girl that I was interested in or talking to was. A couple times it was because of Animal Man. I was a big Grant Morrison Animal Man fan as a kid. That was one of the cool things about people like Grant and like Ann Nocenti. When I was a kid, they introduced ideas to you, like vegetarianism and stuff, but I never felt preached to if I didn't stick to it. I could still be an Animal Man fan and read the book. All right, I'm pretty happy with the way this is coming along. Remember, this is going to be all black. I think I want to fill it in so we can kind of start to get the balance right. All right, I just did a big old dip. I'm going to choke up on the brush. So it's almost like the brush is laying flat, and we get these nice, larger brush strokes out of it. And I'm just lightly dragging. I'm not pushing down, not bearing down. We're not messing with the bristles or anything. It's just laying that ink in there. Now I'm gonna go get some water, clear off my brush a little, some water. And I am gonna fill this in with water now in semicircular shapes. And it'll give like a watercolor feel when I'm done, especially after I erase. And little trick here is lift up the board, and then you can brush off the edge without hitting your desk. A little more water. Again, this will either be in a frame or a portfolio, so like the edge doesn't really matter, but I look at it like the whole finished piece. All right, there we go. We got a group of trees with, so I think I'm gonna add more shadows. I think needs to be heavier in here. I don't think I wanna go in and do any rendering. It needs to be black shapes. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Peter Engstrom, how hot does a girl need to be in order to just eat veggies? I don't know. They were all just really into goth girls, so I don't even know if they were hot. They just all dressed goth. Also, plants feel pain. Yes, they do. Ty Ranger says, I miss having concepts introduced to you instead of having it rammed down your throat. Yeah, I mean, that's why. I mean, I pretty much avoid any media that's ramming crap down my throat these days anyways. I got sick of that a while ago, so enough of that. All right, gonna be adding little leaves at the end because the little leaves are the fresh leaves, little baby ones at the end. Gives a little more dimension to those big chunks of tree as well. I just mean that big chunk of tree. Hey, GJ Martinez loves hummus. I mean hummus. Who doesn't love hummus? Hummus. Yeah, hummus was one of those things I was introduced to really young age, but it was a homemade version. Some Middle Eastern neighbors of ours, and it was like had all kinds of stuff in it. And made weird, and it seemed weird to me. I wasn't really into it, so I didn't try hummus again for years and years. And then once again, there's another Middle Eastern friend of ours that said, "No, the homemade version." He probably just like it was probably just somebody's mom who like couldn't make it very well, like, or how that family had it, and tried it again. I was like, "Oh yeah, I could, I could be down with dipping some more pitas in here." Yeah, I saw that. I felt that silver ogre. I felt that. I was like making those hummus sounding, wordplay jokes, and then realizing like, oh yeah, that could go into demonetization, talking politics. All right, we're gonna go for just a few more minutes here. I've got some, there's some kind of big round bush leaves that are pushing up against this tree here, and I want to lay in some of those shapes. As we get closer to our soldier boy here, though, we'll start graying out some of the areas and using white and black more, or rendering if you want. That's on the term. Yeah, this particular commissioner collector, this will be his third piece from me. I did a Virginia Mountaineer piece for him with a female mountaineer. It's probably one of my favorite pieces I've ever done. I don't take many commissions, and he's somebody I definitely always will take a commission from. He always gives me extremely interesting subject matters. We do go back a ways too. He was a Valiant fan and reader back when I was at Valiant Comics. What, you're a Valiant Comics? Yes, I've been everywhere. Everywhere. All right, just a couple more leaves, and then I'll get to the questions again here. So yeah, what were we talking about? I'm excited about Gods and Gears. I'm super stoked at the rate we're moving through Hammerella pages now that I've got the color assistant, Ben Soto. Ben also has a book, Halloween Head, on Indiegogo right now. Halloween shorts by he and his brother and a couple of friends. Really top-notch stuff, really fun. Small or short comic, affordable. I don't have the link or anything, but just Halloween Head. If you're gracious enough to look it up yourself. Halloween Head on Indiegogo by Benjamin Soto and Justin Soto. I got a freaking rad Jason Voorhees commission from Justin Soto. I don't know Justin like I know Ben. I've known Ben for a while, but I wanted to throw the commission at Justin and see what he did. All right, I think this is where we're going to call the inking for today. We can give a look over to the funner stuff in the image if you want right now. All right, let's see what you guys are talking about here. My hummus went bad, LOL. Damn it. Sorry, GJ. That's a bummer. The foliage sure looking cool in Barbarian Sasquatch. Oh, I don't know Barbarian Sasquatch. I'll have to look at that. Let's see. Silvar being having the question answered. Where is it? Is that a shadow or an arm brace? Let's see. This is the sleeve to my baseball tee, and then this is just the inking glove. If that answers. Ty Ranger says, I need to send Ryan my drawing of a giant robot. That's what would happen if Skynet was run by the YouTube algorithm. I was sent by a Snoober, but the Barbarian Sasquatch. Oh, but the Barbarian Sasquatch is a creature here on YouTube. It's a cryptid that has a YouTube account. I see. From a long time ago. They said cool stuff was drawn here. Welcome to Late Night Inks, Barbarian Sasquatch. Yeah, sometimes we do some cool stuff here. Hopefully tonight was one of it. One of those times. I'm getting done talking here. There's the trees and some of the foliage we inked. Gonna get in there a little later and do some more. Like I said, I'll probably make a video of the gun. Let's see, catching up here. Charles Petrie says, now I have to ask this question. From all the comics you've worked on, if you were making a comic with one character from company, including of yours, which would you call it? I guess Hammerella. That's what I'm working on right now. I definitely don't ever want to go back. There's no big two characters I want to work on or anything like that. There's only a couple I ever wanted to. I was lucky enough to be able to work on a bunch. But yeah, I just want to work on my own stuff, man. That's not really a fun answer, but that's it. Hey, Ty Ranger, thank you for inking Halloween Head. Oh, Charles said, please say EXO. I had fun on a couple issues of EXO. What did I do? 4 issues of EXO. I ended up, the series was called Dead Hand. I ended up getting a pinched nerve, which gave me a dead hand on the series. That was kind of funny. Your lines, they're inky. They speak to me. Hey, I'm glad the lines speak to you, Barbarian Sasquatch. They do have an accent of their own. The brush provides that. I just happen to be the guy that hangs out, and I'm kind of the power for the machine, and Brush does all the work. Gigi says, I guess I'll snack on Big Time Crunch for the remainder of Late Night Inks. Ty Ranger says, the Barbarian Sasquatch, how blurry does it need to be? Blurry always seems to be part of your natural habitat. Simon, they are so safe you need napalm to napalm the beep out of them just to gaze at them. Oh, one character from each company was the thought. Poor writing of that. Sorry, it's like I said earlier too. I'm on my camera, so everything is this big. So when you guys write, like, the bigger the paragraph, it's almost even harder for me to get through. One character from each company I worked at. Oh, that sounds like torture. I mean, I liked working on the darkness, so I would work on the darkness again. I would never want to work on Spawn again. I don't care about Spawn. I don't know. I'm not fun of. I didn't like so much. I didn't like stuff enough that I want to do it again. I'm no fun for that question, man. He wants more blur. Barbarian Sasquatch says. Sorry, I can't make more blur happen unless I do that. There we go. It worked for a second. That half second of like, oh my gosh, it's so blurry. So anyways, I am pretty hot. I am pretty tired. I'm having a good time hanging out, but I think it's time for me to sign off. We're right at about an hour. If you guys have any quick questions, feel free to ask me right now. Simon7 says King Spawn looks good. Sorry, Ryan. No, you guys. I don't care if you guys like stuff. That's totally cool. I ain't got no problems with that. Finally, someone who isn't a Spawn fanboy. No, I worked on the book for 5 years. I'm still not a Spawn fan. In fact, because of my time on it, that's one of the reasons I'm not a fanboy of it. Plus, I don't know. This where's that story ever gone? I don't know. It just never went anywhere for me. So I don't know. Todd's doing just fine without me. So best of luck to him. Simon says, thanks for the stream. Thank you guys for hanging out. No, I was so stoked. Just it was cooled off enough here. I was like, I'm gonna do Late Night Inks tonight. Even if I just get a little bit done, it'll be fun to hang out with the crew and stuff. Ryan, would you be fine if I were to commission you to do a Ninjack 90s version? I'd have to think about that one. But yeah, it's worth talking about that. Let's see. Peter says he's off to bed. Thanks for the show, Ryan. Hammerella. There you go, Peter. Thank you so much. Thanks for hanging out, man. Get some sleep. Shogun says, still hoping to get a commission. Let's see. Hope you can commission that cover for me. We can talk about that too. Sorry, the movie was bad. Oh, they're talking about Spawn. Ryan just angry he got the tiniest name on that anniversary cover. You know what? I think I didn't, though. To be honest, I'm not even trying to, me. I don't care that much, but I don't think I actually did. I think there was a couple names that were somehow smaller than mine. The Barbarian Sasquatch says, this Sasquatch shall return in further issues of the Inkwind. Thank you so much. Yes, check us out Monday for the comic ship, and yeah, Wednesday's here. And we're also going to start a Friday afternoon kind of action figure talk with AC Toy Design. I'm working on that going forward, but got to get some other stuff done first. Charles says, yes, the Spawn movie. All right, you guys, thank you so much. We're going to be signing off here. And like I said, we'll see you Monday for the comic ship. Next Wednesday, I think next Wednesday I should try to do an ink along. If I can get that done, then we can do kind of a pre-record, and I can hang out in the chat, and we can see if we can get a cool character picked out for that. So stay tuned. We do have community tabs going now. I'm going to be posting every other day
on there and keeping you guys up to date on stuff. I'm pretty excited about having the community option here now. And then we'll be having a membership pretty soon. So like during our game shows and stuff like that, we can have members join and even do stuff like after parties and stuff like that, after party hangouts for members. So thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks to those of you that were new here for hanging out. Charles and GJ and Ty and El Padrino and Simonin and Silver and Shogun Ronin and Peter, everybody, thank you so much for. I'm scrolling. There's gonna be one per. Rex was hanging out. Oh, there's gonna be somebody I forgot. It's gonna be haunting me later. But you guys are awesome. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other, and take it easy.